set up my screen a little bit better. Right. Hi, good evening. Thanks for joining me. This is Vinyasa Flow Level 1-2. My name is Maureen. If you have a couple of blocks, go ahead and grab those. They'll be handy for some standing poses. Obviously, any other props are more than welcome, whatever you like to use for your practice. And we're going to begin this evening seated. So find your way to your mat, find a comfortable seat. So once you're seated, once you're grounded, finding a position that you can sit up tall comfortably. Obviously something underneath your seat to prop you up if that helps you to sit with a taller spine, please do that. And then once you're settled in, go ahead and close your eyes. Just a few breaths here, seated, just finding our breath. Finding our way into our practice tonight. And if it speaks to you, go ahead and set an intention. And if you'd like, perhaps a dedication. And then just notice the length of your spine as you breathe. So as you breathe in and out evenly through the nostrils, just envision that breath traveling up and down the length of your spine. So you become a little bit more aware of it and the way the breath moves up and down and in and out of the body. So envision yourself perhaps growing a little taller, sitting up a little taller with every breath. Then bring your hands together in front of your heart, holding your hands in front of you. Take an inhale, feel the length of the spine, and then continue to sit tall as you exhale. Just draw the chin toward the chest. And then let that go, release the hands, open your eyes, lift your head. And then switching the leg crossing, we're just going to take a simple seated twist before we come to hands and knees. So sitting up tall, begin to rotate to the right, cross your left hand to the right knee. Place the right hand behind you. Press into the ground, sit up even taller with that back hand as a prop to elevate and lift your upper body. And then maybe ease just a little further with your next exhale. And releasing as you exhale, turning to face forward, crossing the right hand to the left knee, left hand pressing into the ground, sit up as tall as you can, feel yourself lifting up away from your seat, and then ease a little deeper over towards that left side. And then exhaling, turning back to center, stretch your arms out and up. Inhale, sit up tall once again, reach to the ceiling, look up. And as you exhale, pull the hands down, back through the heart. And then now let's take it to all fours, coming into tabletop, hands and knees. And then once you're set up on hands and knees, just moving through cat and cow at your breath pace. Then come to a neutral spine here. Extend your right leg straight back behind you. Press through the heel so the leg is long and then the back body is long. Lift the belly up away from the ground. Extend your opposite left arm forward at the same time. Reaching through the limbs. So really lengthening, trying to stretch as far as you can in both directions. Take another inhale. Now as you exhale, lower the left hand. Pull the right knee into the chest, round the back, try to lift as high away from the ground. Then bring the foot to the outside, step into the outside of the right hand. And then walk it in, place your right hand to the outside, and then lift up so you're in a kneeling lunge. Take your hands to your hips. Notice if the knee is way past the ankle, wiggle the toes maybe a little further forward, and then increase the bend of that knee so that the shin is parallel, and the front of the pelvis lifts up a little bit more so you feel that extension in the back leg. And then take the hands off of the hips, stretch the arms out. You're going to take an eagle wrap. So take the left arm on top, right arm on bottom, and then cross the elbows. Maybe it's a shoulder hug today if the shoulders are a little tighter, or maybe the arms wrap, palms pressing, fingers pointing up. Lift the entire upper body, so especially the back body. Notice if it's kind of dunking down. Lift the back ribs up, pull the belly back, bend the right knee further, lift the elbows a little higher. And then uncross the arms, stretch them open, palms up, inhale, coming into Anjaneyasana. Stretch the hands to the ceiling, lift the heart a little higher, take another inhale. And then as you exhale, lean forward, hands down, wiggle your right foot toward the right, move your hand to the inside, and then step the knee back. Make your way back to an even tabletop, hands and knees, and then extend your left leg back. So start with a nice strong flex of the foot, keep the hips even. Notice if the back body is arching, lift the belly away from the ground, and then sweep the right arm forward. And then continue breathing all the way across the back body, really finding more length, more stretch through the limbs, a little bit more engagement of the core, the lifting of the belly. Take another breath here. Keep the leg extended back as you lower the right hand. Then bend your knee into your chest. Really engage the core. Now see how high you can lift your shin up away from the ground. Then point that knee outside of the arm and step the foot. So you may need to give it a little boost wiggle so it's next to your left hand. And then walk it in. Place the left hand to the outside. Maybe wiggle the toes forward as you lift the upper body. Hands on hips first. And then adjust how long your stance is. So if it's too short, you're going to find that the knee goes past the ankle. You may strain the knee a bit. So try to find a nice even 90-degree angle with that leg so that your right leg is really extending back behind you, but it's not pulling your hips forward. You want to lift the front of the hips up away from the mat, lift through the upper body, keep that left knee bending, stretch the arms out. Now right is going to sweep over the left, starting with the shoulder hug or the eagle arms. Then bring the elbows higher, using that to kind of lift the entire upper body up away from the hips while still bending that left knee forward and getting a little bit more lift to the back ribs. Keep all of that as you unwrap the arms, stretching them out, palms up, inhale. Look towards the ceiling as you raise the hands overhead. Grow taller through the upper body. One more inhale. And then leaning forward, exhale. Walk your foot to the left. Take that hand right underneath the shoulder. And then walk it the rest of the way back. Kneeling. And then keep your hands where they are. So your wrists are ahead of the shoulders a bit. And then the hands are shoulder distance. Then curl the toes and lift the knees and come into down dog. And maybe pedal the feet if it feels good to kind of walk the legs out a little bit. And then settle the pedaling of the feet. Press the hips back. Feel free to keep the knees bent as much as you need to find that length in the spine. So work the length of the spine. We're going to be doing some twists today, so we want to get more space in between each vertebrae. So really work to pull the hips back, push into the hands, find extension as you work downward facing dog. And then take an inhale from down dog, shifting forward, working your way to a plank pose. And then from your plank pose, shift further forward. Keep leaning so that you can take chaturanga and your shoulders go past your wrists as you start to bend. Maybe knees go down, maybe they stay up. Come all the way down to your belly first. Stretch the toes back. And then pull the chest forward, roll the shoulders back, hug the elbows in, cobra. Exhale back down. Another baby cobra. As you inhale, chest pulls forward, tailbone goes toward the heels, toward the back of your mat. And then exhale, lower down. Take that again. Inhale, coming forward. Maybe stay with cobra. Maybe just press to hands and knees to return to up dog if you're ready. Or sorry, to down dog. If you're ready for up dog, go for it. And give yourself a chance to ease into it slowly if you need a little bit more time to warm up the back body. Okay, from downward facing dog, take an inhale and extend your right leg all the way back to a three-legged dog. Take a moment, maybe open up the hip if it feels nice, stretch it, bend it, rotate the ankle, whatever you'd like to do. And then when you're ready, stretch the leg back to straight, square the hips back to the mat, shifting forward, pulling the knee high into the chest, engage the core and step the foot through. Give yourself a chance to get it there if it didn't make it all the way between the hands. Then take the back knee down, uncurl the toes, inhale, rise right up to your kneeling lunge. And then exhale, lean forward, hands back down. Now place the left palm onto the mat. If it doesn't reach the mat, place a block under it. Inhale, sweep your right arm forward. Exhale, twist to the right, raise the right arm to the ceiling. So back knee can stay where it is if that's a better twist. If you'd like to go a bit bigger, curl the back toes, charge up the back leg, straighten it, lift the thigh up away from the ground, hug the hips together, squeeze the inner thighs, turn a little further on your next exhale. And then turn back to the ground, release. Hands down, step back to downward facing dog. So feet are hips distance, hands are shoulder distance, upper body and lower body are both working to hold you in the pose. Then take an inhale, extend the left leg all the way back, forward length. And then maybe play with it for a moment, maybe open the hip, circle the ankle, move the leg, whatever feels good to lubricate the joints. And then straightening the leg, hips are even now. Look between the hands, pull the knee high to the chest, lift up away from the ground as high as you can before you step the foot forward. Once it gets right in between the hands, take the back knee down, uncurl the toes, inhale, Anjaneyasana. Once again, a little more lift to the upper body, belly pulling back. On the exhale, lean forward, right hand down on the ground or block. Left arm forward as you inhale for length, all the way through the upper body. Twist on the exhale to the left. So if you chose to keep the knee down, knee stays. If you chose to lift it, curl the toes under. Straighten the leg all the way so you feel the thigh muscle pressing up into the thigh bone, and then every breath gets you a little bit more turn to the left. And then turn to face the mat. Exhale, hand down. Once again, just step back to downward facing dog for now. And then go ahead and look forward between the hands. Either walk the feet to the hands or maybe a float forward if you're feeling ready for that. Once your feet get to the front, inhale, place the hands to the shins and stretch halfway up to Ardha and pause here. Notice your spine. If you're hunched forward and rounded, take the hands a little higher, bend the knees a bit, and then see if you can really find more space. Drawing the shoulders back, finding a flat back, or perhaps even a little mini upper back bend. On the exhale, fold all the way back down, Uttanasana. Stretch the arms out on the inhale, press to stand. Raise the hands to the ceiling. And then exhale, bring the hands together to heart. Okay, let's do Surya Namaskar C. So building upon what we've done already. Standing tall, inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, forward fold, coming back in. Inhale, halfway, heart forward, long spine. Exhale, bend the knees, hands down, step the right foot back first. High lunge, lower the knee down. Uncurl the toes, inhale, right up to Anjaneyasana. Exhale, lean forward, plant the hands. Curl the right toes, lift the knees, step back to plank. From plank, look forward, shift your shoulders past your wrists, knees up or down, chaturanga, all or halfway. Maybe pause, hover, then flip the feet, inhale, up dog, or stay with cobra. Exhale, re-flip the feet, downward facing dog. Then once you're there, inhale, send your right leg straight back, keep the hips even. Then when you're ready, draw the knee high into the chest, pull it through, step it forward. Once it's set up, back knee down, uncurl the toes, inhale, kneeling lunge. As the exhale happens, lean forward, hands down, curl the back toes, lift the knee, look ahead, then step that foot all the way to the front. As you inhale, come halfway up to Ardha, long spine. Folding again on the exhale. Inhale, take yourself to stand, reach it up. Hands back to the heart as you exhale. And then second side, inhale, circle the arms up. On the exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale to Ardha Uttanasana. On the exhale, left foot steps back, plant the hands. Leg goes behind you, knee comes down, uncurl the toes. Inhale, raise it to the ceiling, Anjaneyasana. Lean forward as you exhale, hands down, curl the toes, lift the knee, step to plank. From plank, look forward, shift. Taking the vinyasa, elbows bend 90, then inhale, coil forward to your back bend. And then exhale, pull back to downward facing dog. Once you're in downward facing, inhale, send your left leg straight back to three-legged. Then pull it through, step it forward, high lunge. Right knee comes down, uncurl. Inhale, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, lean forward. Curl the toes, lift the knee. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step your right foot to the front. Inhale, Ardha, halfway. Folding, exhale. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Okay, let's take a little standing side stretch. Go ahead and bring your feet all the way together. Then inhale, circle the arms up, reach and look up. Grab one wrist, either one doesn't matter. Stretch it all the way up. Exhale, tip the opposite side of the wrist you're grabbing. So you're getting a nice little side stretch, reaching up and over. And then inhale, back up through center, grab the other wrist. Stretch it up, stand tall, exhale, tip to the opposite side. So you're arcing up and over and you're stretching long through that whole side body. And then inhaling back upright. Exhale, release the wrist, parallel the hands, bend your knees. Come right into chair pose. Drop your seat, sit a little lower, Utkatasana. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stretch halfway up. On the exhale, plant the hands, vinyasa. Step forward, shoot the legs back, chaturanga. So shoulders past wrists as the elbows bend. Then inhale, heart forward, finding that back bend. Exhale, return to down dog. Maybe skip vinyasas here and there if you need to take breaks. Modify as your heart's desire. On your inhale, send your right leg all the way up and back. On the exhale, bend the knee, pull it through, step it up. Now settle your back foot down 45 degrees so that the heels are in alignment. And then as you inhale, you're gonna come right up to Virabhadrasana 1. Raise the arms to the ceiling, right knee bending, back leg very anchored. Then you're working to get the hips a little more square forward, keeping the front of the pelvis once again as upright as you can, and just trying to, as much as possible, avoid collapsing the arch of the back. As really difficult to get that lifted without it pulling your left hip further back. So it's a little tug of war. And then extend your left arm forward for a moment without leaning forward. See if you can pull that whole left side of the body further to square. Maybe bend your right knee further forward. Dig the left heel a little more firmly. And then inhale, take that arm back up. Maybe let the gaze follow. Reach a little higher for one more inhale in Warrior One. And then with the exhale, let it go. Make your hands plant, come into a high lunge, step to plank, follow through vinyasa, or pull back downward facing. And then from down dog, go ahead and inhale your left leg all the way back for length. Then use that core as you pull the knee in, push the ground away around, step it through. Once the foot's forward, back foot down 45, heel to heel, or perhaps wider for your stance. Inhale once you're set up with the legs, Virabhadrasana 1. And then take a moment to see if you can even out the trunk of the body and let the hips kind of come along for the ride. And then see if you can press firmly through the back heel, outer edge of the foot to lift the inner arch without letting the right hip kind of draw towards that back heel any amount. So roll the outer hip forward, send your right arm forward a little bit more and see if you can square the trunk of your body further. Maybe lift the upper body as you let the left knee bend further. And then inhale that right arm straight up. Exhale, maybe look up, reach a little higher. One more inhale, Warrior One. Exhale, take it back down. Hands on the mat, high lunge, through-ways vinyasa or not, coming to down dog when you're ready. And then looking forward between the hands. Elevate the heels, bend the knees. Gaze where you want to go and make your feet come to your hands. Walk, step, jump, however you get there. Once you're there, halfway inhale. Forward fold on the exhale, feet centered together as you bend your knees. Coming into chair pose, you Uttanasana, sit low. Then press to stand, inhale, reach up. Hands return to the heart, exhale, standing tall, crown of the head, reaching to the ceiling. And then staying tall, taking the weight further into the heels, soften the knees. Inhale, come into chair pose again in Uttanasana. On the exhale, forward fold, let the legs straighten. Inhale, stretch the heart forward, lengthen. Bend the knees, plant the hands, now step your left foot all the way to the back of the mat. And then once you step that foot back, spin the back foot down 45, but align the arch of your foot now to your front right heel. So adjust the front foot or the back foot as you need to. Once your heel to arch, sweep the left arm forward for length, dig the back heel a lot. Inhale, rise up to Warrior Two so that your upper body faces the side. So your front knee stays bending forward. And make sure, once again, your stance is long enough that the knee doesn't go past the ankle. You can take a little bit of a longer stance for Warrior Two if you find that your knee is really drifting forward. So get into that front thigh, sink it forward, press that back heel still firmly, stretch the arms further and further apart. Looking forward at your right hand, flip it up, inhale it up to the ceiling, reverse the warrior. Left hand down the back leg maybe, or on the hip, if you like, behind the back. Draw those shoulders down the back. Bend your right knee further forward. And then inhale, come up through Warrior Two. Exhale, straighten your right leg. We're going to come into triangle pose. So once that leg is straight, lift the kneecaps up, draw the inner thighs closer. Now try the little tiniest micro bend of your right knee as you start to reach over the right leg. Keep reaching out, Reach even further. Don't take the hand down yet. See if you can reach as far as you can. When you can't get any farther, then take the hand down. Rest it lightly on the shin, left arm up, or use props outside of the foot, like a block or two or a hook. And then look all the way up at the top thumb, perhaps. If that's too much for the neck, keep the gaze to the side. And then let's sweep that top arm overhead. Lift the palm back, stretch the arm alongside the ear without the shoulder hunching up toward it. So shoulder stays in the socket, armpit hollows out a bit, upper body still squares toward the side even more. And then if you're feeling energetic today, maybe you want to make the right hand lighter and sweep it forward as well. If that's too much, take the hand, keep the hand back down and work the length through that top side body. If you did have the right arm stretched forward, lower it down gently. Stretch your left arm straight to the ceiling again. Press into the feet. Inhale, lift back up to stand. Look forward, bend your right knee here. Take an inhale in warrior two. Take an exhale to let it go. Take the hands down to the mat. Maybe you're choosing to take a vinyasa. Maybe you're just going straight to down dog. And then when you're ready, look forward. Maybe walk the feet up to the hands, maybe lift the heels, bend the knees. If you are hopping, get the hips high up to the ceiling to get a little more forward. Then inhale halfway up, folding back down on the exhale, bending the knees, drop your seated Katasana chair pose, and then go a little deeper as you sit nice and far into that chair. Then inhale, press to stand, reach it up. Hands to heart center. Second side, bending the knees, brief chair pose, inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, folding forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen heart forward. Plant the palms, bend the knees as you exhale, step the right foot back. And then you're gonna set up for that warrior two. So you may need to wiggle your front foot in a bit. Spin your back right foot down. Make sure your heel to arch. Make sure your stance is long enough if the back foot didn't get far back. Then extend the right arm forward for length. Press the back heel so firmly that it's a breeze to inhale and come up to stand in Vira 2 on the left. So keep that left knee tracking forward. Keep the arms extending open wide. Keep weight in the outer edge of your back foot to preserve that lift of the arch. And then relax the shoulders. Maybe relax the face. Bend that front knee a little further. And then flip your left palm up as you inhale. Reverse the shape, keeping everything the same from the waist down. One more bend of the front knee. Then one more breath in reverse. Then take an inhale to lift back up, Vira 2. Exhale, straighten the left leg. Pause before you stretch it forward. Find a lift up. So encourage the torso to lengthen up away from the hips. Encourage the hips to start to push back. Then extend through the left arm. Reach even further. Keep going. Try to gather more and more and more length without locking your front knee. Reach 1 inch further. Then take that hand down wherever it's best to go, high enough that the chest does not collapse. Draw the shoulders back as you reach that right hand up. Once again, looking at the thumb, maybe looking to the side, continuing to breathe. And then feel that tricep wrap inward as the palm flips back and you extend the arm forward. So it's in line with the back leg. So you're pressing through the back heel and reaching through the top fingers. Maybe the bottom hand comes up if you chose it on the other side. If you want a little challenge, or maybe it stays down so you can focus on the breath and focus on the stretch. And then if you did take that bottom hand up, lower it gently down. Reach for the ceiling with the right hand. Press into the feet, inhale, rise back up. Looking forward again, guide that left knee to bend. Inhale, warrior two. And then exhale to release, hands meet the mat, high lunge as you step to plank, and then you follow through, shifting forward vinyasa, or move straight back into Adho Mukha, down dog. Okay, from downward facing dog, inhale, send your right leg all the way back. On the exhale, pull the knee high to the chest, step it all the way through. Work that high lunge. Then, hop your back foot in, decrease the distance, set it down, 45 so that you're heel to heel again. Once you're heel to heel again, take your hands onto your hips, lengthen your spine forward, anchor both feet with a flat back. Inhale, come to stand. So we're going to come into a pyramid pose here. So make sure your stance is short enough that you can really get the hips more square. So you can even take the back foot in closer if that's a better way to feel a little bit more even, and lift it through the upper body. Reach behind you. Either bump the fists together, clasp your elbows, or if you'd like reverse namaskar, you can feel the hands behind you. My shoulders are a little funny today. I'm not going to demo it, but I know some of you know it. So bump fists, grab elbows, press palms, inhale, stand tall, hug the hips in, lengthen. As you exhale, begin to tip forward. Once again, unlock your front knee, just like you would for triangle pose. Keep the hips square, keep lengthening forward. With a flat back, go as far as you can without punching down. So maybe a slight tip. Notice if the shoulders punch toward the ground. Roll the shoulders back and down. Stretch the crown of the head further forward. Then press your back heel even more. Maybe fold just a little further over that right leg to really stretch into that hamstring. Take 2 more breaths. And then notice if the back heel is starting to lift or become lighter. Dig into the back of the mat. Keep the micro bend of your right knee. Notice if you're gripping your right toes. Try to keep the toes a little lighter. And then press into the back heel a lot as you inhale. With the flat back, come all the way up to stand. Once you're upright, release the hands from behind you. Stretch your arms out and up to the ceiling. Take your hands to your heart as you exhale. Bend your right knee. Step your left foot to the front of the mat. Bring the feet all the way together. Once they're there, drop your seat, bending your knees. Inhale, back to chair pose. On the exhale, folding forward over the legs. Inhaling to stretch forward, long spine. Bend the knees, plant the hands, optional vinyasa. Make your way to downward facing dog with your breath when you are ready. And from there, inhale, send your left leg all the way back. On the exhale, pull the knee high to the chest, step it all the way through. Once that foot is forward, bring your right foot in closer to meet it. Settle it down 45 so that the heels are in one line. Once that's set up, once again, no locking the front knee. Maybe take the hands to blocks if this is a little difficult to get into that fold, or hands, fingertips to ground. Then, without collapsing the chest, walk your hands to your hips. Stretch the upper body forward. Inhale, come up to stand. Once you're upright, adjust your stance if you need to shorten it. And then reach behind you. And then match what you did on the first side. So if you're clasping elbows, try to cross or stack the other forearm on top, or bump fists again, or reverse namaskar. Inhale, anchor the feet, lengthen upwards, stand a little taller. Then take it slow as you exhale, tipping forward to pyramid. And then without lifting that back heel, take the little mini bend of the front knee. And then maybe focus a little bit more on the inner part of the big toe so you don't hold the outside of the foot. Keep breathing and keep stretching forward. Notice if you start to collapse at a certain point, maybe lengthen the sternum further forward, find more space, and then as you exhale, maybe hinge a little further forward over that left thigh. And try to once again lift the shoulder heads up away from the ground, draw those shoulders onto the back, stay firm on your back heel. Take one more breath, folded in pyramid. And then leading with the heart, inhale, rise all the way back up to stand. Release the arms from behind you. Take a moment to stretch them wide. Palms up as you inhale, reach it up to the ceiling. Hands to heart, exhale, bend your front knee a bit, and then step your right foot to the front. Once your feet are together at the front of your mat, stand a little taller. Feel your spine lengthen up away from your hips. Feel the feet ground into the mat. Crown of the head stretching to the ceiling. From here, bend your knees. Inhale, return to chair pose. Exhale, folding forward, bowing down. Inhale, stretch it forward halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, optional vinyasa. Move through the flow with your breath. And then take an inhale, stretch your right leg back. On the exhale, pull it through, step it between the hands. All right, once that foot is up there, place your left hand down or on a block. Float your right arm forward, reach opposite arm and leg. Really work to extend away from the back body. Then exhale, return to that twist. If you need to, you can take the back knee down. Down again. A little warmer now, maybe try to get that knee up. So maybe bottom hand comes to a block, shoulders move back, chest turns further. See if you can get even more rotation now. Take another inhale. Exhale, release, face the ground. Settle the hand down, spin the back foot 45, heel to heel. Inhale, rise back up to warrior one. Straight up away from that front thigh. Stretch that arm to the ceiling. Keep that front knee bending, keep the upper body lifting. Maybe look up. Maybe either press the palms, hook the thumbs, or just work to get the hands closer without the shoulders hunching up. One more inhale. Exhale, forward fold, hands down. Step it back, vinyasa or not, come to downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, inhale, left leg extends. On the exhale, pull it through, round the upper back, high lunge. So make sure that stance is long enough that the back leg can really extend. And then push the ground away with your right hand. Extend your left arm forward, pause for a moment. Send your right heel further back and your left arm further forward. So they're stretching away from one another. Then exhale, take the twist. Now that you have more space. And then continue breathing and then feel the twist happen from the bottom up. So you're working that rotation to turn the trunk of your body, keeping the hips more stable and even. So that's where the rotation happens, is in the torso. And then on the exhale, release it, hand back down. Then set up heel to heel. So come to a 45 with the back foot. And then inhale once again, rise up, Virabhadrasana again. So very lifted upper body, very extended arms sinking into that front knee. Looking up, reaching higher. If it's accessible and it doesn't hunch the shoulders, try to get the hands closer together. Don't let the elbows wing out. Scoop the triceps in. So maybe the thumbs hook together. Maybe the hands press or you interlace and maybe just make a little thumb and first finger point. Take another inhale. And then exhale, release it, hand down. Once again, come back to downward facing dog. Vinyasa if you'd like. No vinyasa if you don't need it. Okay, from here, go ahead and walk your hands back to your feet. Coming to a forward fold. Inhale, rise up halfway to Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, folding back down. Bring the feet together. Bending your knees, inhale, come through chair pose. As you exhale, twist to the right, hands to heart, lean over the thighs and hook your elbow outside of your right knee or nestle it between the knees. Or if you're feeling like that's too intense today, bring hand to hip, left forearm to thigh, and turn from there. See if you can get even more rotation. If you're pressing the palms, squeeze them together and try to keep the shins even so that the left knee doesn't flip forward and race the right one to the front of the mat. Take another inhale as you twist. Take an exhale as you forward fold. Again, come straight down through center. Then from there, inhale right back up through chair pose. Exhale, drop your seat, hands to heart, twist to the left, keep the hips even so the turning happens in the upper body. Then once the elbow finds its place, squeeze the hands. And then try to broaden the chest and draw the shoulders back. So tailbone goes back and down, crown of the head reaches forward and up a little. Take another breath in here in your deeper twist. And then let it go. As you exhale, come back to a forward fold. And then walk your feet out a little bit wider. Stay in the forward fold and take any variation you like. So I'm wanting to get a little more shoulder stretch today. I'm going to reach behind, clasp my hands. You can do that or grab a belt or strap. Or you can just grab the backs of your legs if you want to keep it soft. Or you can even clasp your elbows and just hang. And let your arms release whatever clasp you have. Bend your knees and just roll up to standing for a moment. And then once you are upright, go ahead and walk back to the front of the mat. We're going to take one more standing series. For this one, I would say a block or two would come in handy. So if you have those blocks or books, whatever you're using, set them up near the front of the mat. And then let's take it to the top of the mat, bringing the feet together, one last chair pose, bending the knees, inhale, briefly drop that seat to chair. With the exhale, take it all the way into a forward fold. Inhale, stretch forward, long spine. When you're ready, plant the hands, move through a vinyasa. Take your time to get back to down dog, one breath per movement if you are taking the flow. Okay, then once you're there, inhale, send your right leg back once again, lengthen it behind you, lift it high, draw the knee in, pull it through, step it forward, find your way to a high lunge, spin your back foot 45, so you're heel to heel, set up Virabhadrasana 1, inhale, come right up to warrior 1, not a long hold, just to get the square hips and to get that lift. And then exhale, lean it back forward, take the hands down. Lift the back heel, step it in about a third of the way, set it down. Shorten your stance, just as you did for pyramid pose. So once you're set up with pyramid legs, take your hands to your hips. Inhale, stand up nice and tall. Square the hips forward. Take your stance as short as you need to. So keep in mind, you're probably going to want to have blocks for this. We're going to take a twisted triangle, Parvita Trikonasana. So as you inhale, send your left arm up to the ceiling. Reach it up nice and high as you gently hug your right hip back with your right hand. So feel that as you exhale, you start to hinge and you pull this hip crease toward the back of your mat. Take that micro bend of your right knee. Yep. Stay on your back heel a lot. Pause when you come maybe about halfway down. See if you can find even more length through the upper body. Reach further forward. As you exhale, begin to twist to the right. Then start to reach for the ground. The ground may be pretty far away. That's when you may want to grab a block, maybe two. So, most accessible variation is to have the block to the inside of the foot. If you can easily reach the ground, great. If not, have something under the hand. If you're wanting to go further and you feel your balance is okay, you can take it to the outside of the foot. That's traditional. That may be a little uneven for some or a little too much. And then as you turn further toward the right, pause here. Keep hugging your right hip back. Try to keep the hips square. Then only if you feel like it's not going to torque the shoulder, maybe float that right under the ceiling. If it's just pulling you down like this, maybe just keep the hand on the hip and work the extension and the turning through the upper body. So if one block is not enough, you're obviously welcome to stack another block or book or whatever else to give the bottom hand enough height that you can press down and reach for the sky. Stay on the back heel, take one more breath. It's a really big twist. As you exhale, turn to face the mat. Move the props out to the side, plant the hands, and then kind of wiggle or hop your back foot back to a high lunge. And then either just step the right foot to down dog or take a vinyasa between sides, whatever your body needs right now. And then when you're ready to send the left leg back, stretch it all the way up to the ceiling, lift, draw the knee into the chest, pull it through, step it to a high lunge. Settle the back for 45 so that you're heel to heel. Rise up to Vera-1 first, just to get the evenness. This comes into play when we set up for twisted triangle. Because it's a neutral pose, we want to get the hips square, but the stance is shorter. So sink the front knee and then lift the upper body. Take one more breath. As you exhale, take it down. Once the hands meet the mat, hop your back foot in. Take the stance, whatever shortness you need to. Most of us are going to want to make it fairly short. Once you're set up, take your hands to your hips as you inhale with a flat back, rise all the way up. Take a long before we come back forward and down to feel that you're even. So the goal is to get more space and more stretch so that the twist will be more accessible. So if you just hunch right forward, you're not going to have much space to go. If you have more length, then you'll have more opportunity to twist. Raise the right arm up. Hug the left hip back. And then squeeze the inner thighs together. That'll also help get the rotation. As you exhale, hinge forward and then pull this left hip crease back. And then keep lengthening across the back body as you keep reaching forward. Don't lose the connection with the back heel. Don't overlock your front knee. Then once you're maybe about halfway or maybe a little less, reach further with the right hand like you're trying to grab something in the next room. So you lengthen across the body. Then exhale and begin to twist to the left. Keep going. And then when you can't twist any further, take the hand down. Find your block if you're using it. Decide where it needs to go. Make sure it's not so far back that you're leaning forward or so far forward that you're hunching over the front leg. You want to have the wrist under the shoulder, and then as you pull that back hip crease, squeeze the inner thighs, turn further. Then maybe add that arm to the ceiling or keep it at the hip if that helps you isolate the twist. Keep breathing. Find more space to find more rotation. Take another big inhale. And then let it go. Exhale. Move those props. Get the hands down. Find your way back. One more vinyasa if you're taking it. Otherwise, meet in downward facing dog. All right, let's take the knees down to the mat. Let's find our way to a child's pose. And lift your forehead. Walk your hands back to your knees. So keep your legs in this kind of child's pose for a moment. I'm going to turn to face you. Then reach forward, lift your seat, scoot your hips over to the left, and then bring your legs out from under you and point your lower legs to the right. So you're seated onto the left hip, lower legs point to the right. Take your left hand to the ground behind you so that the wrist is maybe about a foot away across from that hip. Point the fingers back a bit, and then keep anchoring that hand down without punching into it. Sit up a little taller. Stretch your right arm forward. Turn the palm up. As you inhale and begin to raise that arm to the ceiling, pressing the back hand, lift the hips. And then once you're on your shins, step your right foot forward so you're just on your left shin. Keep reaching up to the ceiling, then maybe reach back further and find kind of halfway between a side stretch and a back bend. So puff the chest up to the ceiling. Don't lock the back elbow. Keep reaching up and maybe further back if you want to go further. Try to get the hips a little higher. And then slowly exhale, take the hips down. And then bring that knee in, lower the right hand to the knee. And back to center, sit up tall. And then switch the crossing your legs. Just bring your leg back from under you, swap. Or you can come forward and switch the other way. And then once you're seated on that side, go ahead and place your right hand behind you. And just let the fingers point to the corner or back. Make sure there's enough space, your hand is not right next to your hip. And then sit up a little taller. Reach forward with the left hand, palm up. As you push the palm to the ceiling, start to lift the hips up. Once you're on your shins, lift your left foot, step it forward at an angle. Raise that top hand higher, and then maybe reach further back. Try to lift the back body up away from the ground. Push that right hand into the ground without locking the elbow. Try to get even more stretch. As you exhale, lower slowly back down. All right, bring that left knee in. So same position you're just in. And then sit up nice and tall, inhale. And then take a twist to the right, crawl your right fingertips further back and cross your left hand to that opposite knee. And continue sitting up tall and turning. So you're not leaning to the side, you're straight upright. If it feels nice to bring that that right arm behind you in a wrap, you can take that. Maybe even kind of hook and hold that hip and use that to turn you further away. If that doesn't feel comfortable, just press into the ground with that back leg. Maybe lift over that back right shoulder if it doesn't strain the neck. And then as you exhale, release all the way out from the twist. Lean back, swap the legs once again, switch sides. Find that same position, sit up nice and tall. Inhale, lift, exhale, begin to twist to the left And then press the back hand to prop you up. Cross the right hand to the knee. Sit up nice and tall. Inhale. Exhale, turn further. And then either keep that hand behind, or if you chose the little wrap, go ahead and reach that arm, wrap it behind the back. Try to find that front hip or hip crease even. And then continue to breathe. Maybe look over the back shoulder. And then as you exhale, release and unwind. So I'm going to take us through some more side stretches. If you want to take this time instead to work inversions, this would be a good time before we start to slow down too much. So if you're feeling energetic and you want to go upside down, either right on your mat or take yourself to a wall, go ahead and take the next 2 or 3 minutes for that. If you're staying with me, go ahead and extend your right leg out to the side. So it's angled. And then your left heel is close to your hip. And then this knee, you have this little external rotation moves on the side. Take a moment, sit up tall, flex through the right toes, and then extend the arms out. Inhale, lift up a little taller through the upper body. As you exhale, twist toward the bent knee just a couple of inches so your right arm is straight over your right leg. Then reach forward over that leg, go as far out as you can before you take the hand down to find your toes, ankle, calf, whatever's there. Look back to your right or left hand, flip it up. Inhale, reach it up to the ceiling. And then you decide how deep you go. Maybe you're staying more upright and you're already feeling a stretch, that's fine. Maybe you need to arc over that extended leg even more. Maybe you need to go even further. If you're really bendy and you're like, I can grab my toes and then reach my right hand to the inside of the foot and turn under, maybe you're doing that. If that's like, oh, that's crazy, it's too much, then stay in this version. Make sure it doesn't pull this left hip up off of the ground. So you want to keep that anchored, and you want to just keep a nice stretch along that top side of the body. And then as you inhale, slowly come up through center. And then you're going to switch the legs. So send the left leg up to the side. Bring your right heel towards you. Sit up nice and tall. Find center. Sit up evenly. Flex the left foot. Stretch the arms out. Inhale, lift. Exhale, little twist toward the bent knee. So the arm is stretched straight over the leg. And then reach it out. Roll over the leg. Grab what's available. You can also take a strap around, or if you're staying a little bit more upright, you can use a block. Rest the form on a block. Look back, right hand up, reach it to the ceiling. So softer variation is just here, form on block, right arm stretching, maybe straight up, maybe forward a little bit. Deeper is going for the toes or the foot, stretching further, maybe even reaching the top hand for the toes. So make sure if you're doing this variation that it's not twisting your torso over the leg. You want to be able to pull back under so that your chest is facing the side and not towards the ground. So I'm not going to stick in that one today. So keep reaching through that top arm. Make sure the shoulders aren't hunching forward. And then inhale, slowly lift back up through center. Exhale, take that arm down. And then go ahead and stretch your right leg back out to meet the right. So you're going to come into Upavishta Konasana. If you don't have the space, if you're still facing forward, you can always kind of come to the side. And then take the legs out as wide as you can comfortably go so that you don't have to bend the knees or hunch. So you're going to sit up tall. Take a moment, place your hands behind you. Press the heels away from the hips. Press the hands on the ground and see if you can lift a little higher. So if you're here and you're like, wow, this is a really good stretch for my inner thighs, I don't need to fold forward at all. For some, that may be the case. You may just want to prop yourself up and work to extend through the heels, and you're getting a good stretch here. If you're going further, begin to tip forward with a flat back, and then maybe take the hands in front of you, and then take it slow as you crawl them out so that you don't end up just collapsing toward the ground. And feel free to use props. Forearms or hands can be on blocks. You can use a bolster, a pillow. The sky's the limit.
So you think you can tell heaven from hell, blue skies from pain? Can you tell if we can feel the cold steel rain, a smile from a fan? Do you think you can tell?
And then begin to walk your hands back toward you. If you happen to be working on inversions right now, it might be a good time to make your way back here. And kick the legs out. So if you're just joining us, take your legs into Upavishta. And we're just going to take a brief fold over each leg. So sit up tall as you come through center. And then begin to twist to the right and place your hands alongside that leg. And then see if you can really get your upper body to square over the leg. And once again, without punching into it, begin to tip forward, keeping your left hip anchored. So this one, you may not go very far. With that opposite leg extended, it's going to be a little bit deeper. Maybe crawl your hands a little further alongside and feel like you're kind of pulling the ground towards you. If you're able to get further and reach for the ankle or foot, you can do that. And then for this one, you do want to square your torso now towards the ground over that extended leg. Once again, don't let the left toes drop forward or the left hip lift. You want to keep the legs neutral and just work to fold over that right leg.
How I wish you were here. We're just two lost souls swimming in a fishbowl, year after year.
And then walking your hands alongside the leg, lift back up, come through center, sit up tall for a moment. And then as you exhale, begin to twist to the left, and then hands come alongside. And then begin to crawl them alongside the leg. This is one where maybe just a little bit of a lean is enough. Or maybe you're using something to loop around the foot. You can always do that. Or you can walk the hands forward further if you're able to grab the foot or ankle or some part of the leg. You can do that. And this is a nice one too, is to just kind of press the hands down and feel like you're dragging the ground toward you and extending over the leg. Keep the right toes up, right hip anchored so that you're getting that stretch of the inner right thigh. So the full external rotation stays the same, the hip doesn't collapse in. And then keep the spine long as you stretch over that left leg. And then maybe get your top right ribs just wrap further toward the ground. That'll give you even more of that juicy stretch. And then start to walk your hands towards you. Come back through center, sit up nice and tall for a moment. And then place your hands behind your knees. And then gently lift the knees up a bit. Start to lean back and drag the heels toward your hips. Then place your feet on the mat. Your feet wider than your hips, hands behind. And then do that little knee drop side to side. Just a little kind of swish side to side. And then you're going to come back through center, stretch your legs straight forward. We'll finish with Paschimottanasana, seated upright before we come onto our back. So flexing the feet, feet together, toes point up. Take an inhale, raise your arms to the ceiling. And then take it inch by inch, no hurry to get all the way down. Just take it slow as you start to tip forward. You'll feel a bigger stretch along the back body. And then keep reaching out, lengthening over the legs. And then take your time to make your way down to that forward fold. Grab your feet, ankles, calves, a prop, belt or strap or towel. And then take about 10 breaths in your forward fold. So start to let the breath be a little slower, a little smoother. And just focus on the inhales and the exhales. Taking your time, making your way slowly back up to sit. And then let's come onto our backs. We're going to finish with thread the needle. So you're obviously welcome to take a different hip stretch if thread the needle isn't your favorite. That's a nice, easier, more accessible hip stretch. So if you're taking thread the needle with me, lay onto your back. Cross your right ankle over your left knee. Keep the strong flex of this crossover foot. Keep this right knee away from your right shoulder. And then if you need to go further, reach forward for the back of the thigh or the front of the shin, or move something around if it's a little easier. If it's pulling your head and shoulders away from the ground, try to keep the head and shoulders relaxed onto the mat. And then you're just working to draw that inner shin closer to your chest without the knee coming closer towards the shoulder. So your lower left leg, you're just going to be relaxed and hanging out. That one's not really doing anything. You're just pulling that left thigh towards you and then keeping flex in your right leg. So this leg is a nice 90-degree bend, and this kind of maintains the integrity of the knee joint with the foot flexing and pressing actively upward. And go ahead and slowly release that thigh. Uncross, switch sides. Take the left over the right. And then keeping the knee away from you as you bring the right thigh towards you. And then match how you adjusted on the first side. So left foot flexed, lower right leg a little bit more relaxed. Head and shoulders relaxed. And then take a few breaths and just let yourself deepen into that hip stretch. And when you are ready, gently release the grip on that right leg, uncross. And then take a moment here. Draw your knees in towards you, pull them apart. Do a couple little knee circles, rotating out away from you. And then reverse directions, draw the knees together and then pull them apart out. And then flex the feet, point the heels to the ceiling, take happy baby. Reach the for the outside of the feet or ankles or knees and rock a little bit. Just sway as you begin to really slow things down. And then release the feet, hug the knees close to the body. Give yourself one last little squeeze, maybe even coil up for a second into a little ball. And then slowly release. Go ahead and stretch your legs all the way forward. Rest your arms near your sides, palms up. Let the feet just flop out. And then once you're settled into a nice comfortable position for Shavasana, let your eyes close and soften. Let your facial muscles relax. Let the larger muscles and the smaller muscles in your body feel like they can let go and rest a bit more. And give yourself the next few moments for Shavasana. Begin to slowly move toes and fingers, let them wiggle and reawaken. And then stretch your arms up and back behind you, reaching to the back of the mat. Beyond it, stretch your legs forward. And then when you're ready, step your feet onto the mat. Relax your arms, relax your shoulders. Gently shift over onto one side. And then slowly from there, pressing up, finding a comfortable seated position. And then once you're upright, seated, nice and tall with that lifted long spine, press the palms together in front of the heart. Sealing your practice this evening. Eyes closed. Sit a little taller as you inhale, letting the heart lift to the hands. And then with the exhale, drawing the chin toward the chest, bowing in. Thank you so very much for joining me. Namaste. Thank you again. Nice to see you, ladies. Have a great evening. Have a great week. See you later.